folks, this is all the fruit. Today I'm finally heading for Kalimantan in Indonesia. Last winter I spent 1 month in the Kuching area of Sarawak. I didn't regret it because the next 3 months throughout Kalimantan, Sarawak, Sabah and Brunei were not very fruit rich. There was only fruit season here in the Kuching and especially in the Serian area. Well, this time I spent around 2 months in the Kuching area, and today finally I'll try to rip myself from this beautiful fruit-rich region and advance towards the big jungles of West Kalimantan. I really would like to have time to visit the hills around Serian a couple more times. They have quite well preserved jungles in the upper regions, and we are still in the fruit season here, towards the end of the fruit season now after 2 months, but still in the fruit season. But there is a limit to what rare jungle durians and other rare jungle fruit I can find in one single area. So I'm really sad to live here. There is so much more to discover. To live here, there is so much more to discover. But no more rare jungle durians around here. Always checking on the wonderful Serian market, one of the best fruit markets in Borneo, overflowing like always with rare fruits: champenak, langsat, water apple, rambutan, pulazan, yellow rambutan, and here some of the more real local things: perenti nuts, langir, tampoy, mangosteen and sour eggplant, snake fruit, more tampoy, and of course durian. And here the Borneo olive, dabai. I might miss this. If I'm unlucky, the fruit season seems to be towards its end in big parts of Kalimantan too. If I'm unlucky, this is the last good fruit display I'm gonna see for the next 1,000 kilometers. Not to mention that despite Indonesia being much poorer than Malaysia, the prices of those things in Kalimantan are often much higher than in Sarawak. Do I really want to leave giant durians, tarap, duriocotienses, sugar apple, star fruit, so many different limes, little jungle onions? Oh, do I really want to leave this? That has been my thought for the last 2 months. Last year I left the fruit season in this region and regretted it. One last roti canai. For some reason they are hard to find in Indonesia. Bit of mangosteen on the way, a bit of langir, and maybe just one more coconut. Just in time for the 1 ringgit bus to Tebedu. This bus is actually intended to bring Indonesian shoppers to the shops of Serian. I usually abuse it for transporting durian, but today I will abuse it to get across the border. One or two carpo species, completely picked empty by the monkeys. Something tarap-like, but no tarap smell. This could mean it's too unripe. Artocarpus saravacensis also has a very mild smell. Also, around me, what kind of leaves do we have? This is an Artocarpus leaf, but this looks more like Artocarpus arizophilus. Also, this could be an Artocarpus leaf. Well, let's leave it at that here. I remember this place from previous years. I don't know why so many good fruit trees grow here on top of this little peak. There is a lot of kubal. Also, there are two Artocarpus species on which the monkeys have been feasting. And here I prepared something for filming. The big one should be Artocarpus rigidus or strictus. Here together with some leaves. The small one, I'm a little bit at a loss. Here another Artocarpus. Oh, this one still was good and I destroyed it. I'm an idiot. Only very slightly hairy. With white arils. Now I dropped them. Only slightly sweet with a strange chemical flavor. I don't think I've ever eaten this species. Huge Artocarpus leaf. No fruits nearby, so I'm not sure what species this is. But my shoe is being dwarfed by it, and there are much bigger ones even. Again, the Artocarpus lacusha. I guess it's wild here and not cultivated. Very tasty, but those fruits are not in their prime. The Meru is the biggest official border crossing between Malaysia and Indonesia. However, as you can see right next to the official one, there is a slightly less official trail behind the fence. Since it's impossible, they have now finding some transport into town. Balay Karagad, berapa kilo?
17.
17. This one says 35.
No, 17.
Harga berapa?
18.
Huh? 100 Malaysia. Okay, you see? 100 Malaysia, 200 Malaysia. Jalan kaki. Bye-bye, folks. The 100 kilometers from Kuching to here cost me 2 ringgit. But for the 17 kilometers to the next town, they want 100 ringgit. Well, folks, I got bad news for you. There is a thing called walking. There is a good Samaritan who wants to help me. Berapa? Kebalay? He said it. 50. Berapa? Smile, boss. You're on YouTube. 50? Okay lah. Yes, I know those folks are poor and I am rich and I shouldn't bargain for like $7, but they started with 100 ringgit, which is over $20, and which is a lot more any of those people here make in a whole day. Stopping at the local gas station. Yes, this is it. And I'm trying to take in how is the fruit season. The rice paddies seem to be a little bit behind the ones in the Serian area. Still completely green. Well, let's hope that the fruit season it's also at its peak now. Buletter Lulu Bazar. I push. Well, this hill proved too much for our object. Come on, start. Tidak? You go back? Okay, saya jalan kaki. He really wants to go back. This guy really gave up. Okay lah. Wait. Take at least 20. Okay la. Enjoy. Well, that was roughly 1/3 of the way. Here, by the way, sweet potatoes. 1/3 of the way, yeah? I gave him 20,000, so should be okay for 1/3. I am not worried about transport. Not in the middle of the jungle here. What I'm more worried about is the fruit season. All the seasonal stuff has no fruits or very little fruits. That's not good. So, it's the old hitchhiking routine once again. Everybody saying hello, but nobody stopping. No fruit on the durian trees. The border, they told me they have ripe durian right now, but there are quite a lot of trees around here and not a single fruit. And I don't smell anything either. I once rode for 40-50 kilometers with 2 Kalimantan girls on the motorbike, but I still don't know how this thing survived it. In the background, an area has already been slashed and prepared for the burning. I guess it's gonna become a hill paddy, a dry rice field, or some type of veggie garden. No stopping for the white man. Come on, truck, stop for me. Somebody is stopping. Kemana, boss?
Balay.
Balay, bagusla, can I follow you? My preferred way of traveling. Across a tropical island on the back of a construction truck. Or any other big vehicle. I don't care. This tree was loaded with rambutan, but most other trees, very few or no fruits. And I haven't seen a single durian hanging from the trees. Pity. This mountain looks intriguing, but last time I wasn't able to find any transports to bring me there. I think the top has never been locked. That means a rare jungle flora, fauna, especially fruits, should be hiding there. I wonder what I must look like for the locals. Somebody who is like 2 feet taller than them. In Sarawak, there are areas where you don't see white people for weeks in the villages, or even for years if you would stay in the villages. But here in Kalimantan, even if you hang out at the big cities, at the tourist areas, at the airports, you hardly see white people. You hang out in the cities, in the big cities, you see maybe 1 or 2 in a month. So those people have seen white people, usually in a bus or accompanied by a tour guide. But the white person standing on the side of the road, I think that's a first for all of them. This side, the mountain is even more impressive. Pretty tall, pretty steep, already hidden in the clouds. Actually, sorry, it's not the mountain I wanted to climb last time. This is a border mountain, so the access will be highly restricted. I wanted to climb a different mountain a little bit further ahead. You see all the beautiful ancient durian groves along the river in the background. Last time I was at a hotel right next, well, here we have young durian groves, right next to the durian groves, but the season was completely over. However, this time I see some fruits, so I gotta go there and see if I can buy a couple tasty fruits straight from the tap. Doing a little bit of rodeo riding here. Beautiful little town, but we don't have a strong fruit season. That's how you signal for a stop here. It is funny how they have the men's hostel, and next to it the women's hotel, run by the same family. It is a decent place for Indonesian standards. There is the standard, sanitary installations. Big cement tub filled with murky water. Pile or cup or whatever. And in this case, there is not simply a hole in the ground. Oh no, there is a nice porcelain squatting toilet. Well, yeah, for Kalimantan, this and decent amount of cleanliness is already quite good. Now, those are some big jackfruits. I guess this is an improved variety because in Sarawak they will usually a quarter of the size. A lot of water apples in the back. Also notice the slight differences in style between Indonesia and Malaysia. Indonesia and Malaysia are basically like Germany and Austria, or Bulgaria and Macedonia, or the US and Canada, or whatever, Mexico and Guatemala. They speak the same language with some differences, but the culture is slightly different. And also Indonesia is a lot poorer than Malaysia. Another important thing is that while Sarawak imposes a lot of immigration restrictions to people from West Malaysia, Sarawak and West Malaysia are basically like two different countries. Indonesia encourages immigration, and thus there are a lot of Muslim non-native people here who bring a lot of goats, sheep, and especially those cute cows. That's very important because, well, firstly, fruit foraging can be a bit of a challenge. Those things are bigger even than me. And also, they work as free lawn mowers. In Malaysia, well, even in Indonesia, you see people with weed whackers mow the grass all the time. Here they have a much more clever way. However, folks, remember, cattle always change the ecosystem they are introduced into. So you introduce cattle, yeah, they will save you on money on cutting grass. They will produce a lot of milk and meat and such stuff. But always remember, the ecosystem, even this orchard, will never be the same after introduction of cattle. I found an interesting fruit in this man's garden. Asked him what it is. I'm not familiar with the name. So let's see. Is it buah abiu? Ini buah abiu?
Buah abiu.
Buah abiu.
Abiu dari mana?
Ini tidak buah abiu ini. Buah telur.
Buah telur. Ya.
Ini buah telur. It's an egg fruit. Got it. Buah telur ini. Terima kasih. Rambutan and cocoa. Here they still cultivate the cocoa for commercial purposes, but nobody has harvested this tree. It's a pity. The fruit is incredibly tasty. Even if you don't want to make chocolate, the fruit itself is really nice. Forgot the name, but this tasty American invasive is everywhere in West Kalimantan. I've never seen it outside of West Kalimantan except maybe once in Singapore. Well, by using this bridge I should be able to get close to it. Oh yeah. Safety regulations probably do exist in this country, but I don't think anybody knows about them. Well, here is this thing. Really beautiful. The fruits are quite tasty, but when one thing becomes invasive and becomes too common, people stop caring about the tasty fruits, unfortunately. This one is everywhere in West Kalimantan. I always forget the name, but it's tasty. The sago palm. One of those trunks can feed a person for a year with the giant amount of sago inside. And here in front, sugar cane. That's the most efficient way in the whole wide world to produce sugar. Also, unlike in Malaysia, very few people here are rich enough to own a car. Motorbikes are the preferred mode of transport. Also, everything is a lot faster and louder around here, and riding on the back of the truck is not the exception, but the norm. Oh, my favorite drink. Hi, boss! Berapa harga kelapa, boss? Ini tidak, bos? Ini, bos. Since they so conveniently have put the parag next to the coconuts, okay, I gotta use it instead of my pocket knife. Yeah. Usually they are Usually those people are horrified by my improper use of the parag. But who cares? It's fun. Straw ada? With the straw, they also gave me a spoon, and of course, a good boy never wastes any part of the coconut. Everything is a bit louder and faster here. However, I just found out there is no bus to Puto Sibao. You can either take the bus to Sintag, which is still horribly far away from Puto Sibao. A nice town, I like it, Sintag, but didn't plan to go there. Or I can do the good old hitchhiking again, which can be a bit of a problem because ahead of me lie hundreds of kilometers of very sparsely inhabited countryside. It's not pristine jungle, it has been locked. There are villages and oil palm plantations, but they are very few and far between. Hitchhiking in such an area is fun. First, let's check the fruit season on the local market. Hi, Bu, apa kabar? Those people selling fruit somewhere near the market, not at the market, at the official stalls, usually the most interesting one. Durian kuteiensis. Durian lai? Hah? Durian kawai. Dalam kuning. Bagus lah. Ini apa? Hah? Durian biasa di belum masak. Okay. Terima kasih. So here she has some yellow unripe durian. Maybe I'll try some of it later. And here she has Durian kuteiensis. Already two very interesting things. And German. Tidak Spaniol. And here they have some Belimbing Merah and Champenak, so a couple of the standard things and some slightly unusual durians. Usually there are also food stores around the market, technically not part of the market. They also can be very interesting. Mentawak, a very tasty orange flesh artocarpus, again some durian and rambutan. The next one has some fish. The next one is drying some fish. You might think drying fish in the rainforest climate is difficult, but the sun here is so strong. If you keep the stuff out of the rain, you can dry basically anything. I feel like eating a pineapple. Borneo cooking cucumbers, bunga kantan. This is mostly a vegetable store. Here we have the proper market. Okay, a lot of nice veggies, sour eggplant, beans, bottle gourd. Who knows where the potatoes... Hi, how are you? Where the potatoes come from? Chayote, baby corn. And here we have some melinjo. I wonder why they put the melinjo in those inflated plastic bags. Teeny tiny eggplants. But not so many seasonal fruits, but more tiny eggplants. A lot more shops around the market selling all types of foodstuffs. I guess the division between on market and off market is not so strict. Why do they rip the cutayenses off the trees before it ripens? I don't get it. When it's ripe, it's supposed to detach right here, but they rip it off when it's still completely unripe. That makes no sense. This durian can be extremely delicious if you let it ripen properly. If not, it tastes like a mixture of wax and glue. Not too many fruits here, but yeah, this is basically a small town market, mostly meant for veggies. Terima kasih. She really wants to sell me her chilies. Asam Kalimantan. However, here in Kalimantan, maybe they call it something different. And also those bananas have seen much better days. Okay, as long as there is mangosteen, there is hope. Smelly Jenko beans. However, that's the trash. The beans have been taken out, but this smell, it's a very rich and heavy smell, but it already smells like something that's bad for your kidneys, and surprise, surprise, it is. Also, this is some Kalimantan. They have seen much better days. A good place for veggies, but compared with Syrian market, the amount of fruits is not too impressive. However, we have to check and scourge and not leave any stone unturned. Maybe we'll find something interesting here. Water apple. However, one thing I can already say for sure. We are more or less in the fruit season, but it is quite a weak and patchy fruit season. I don't know this little road, but I think it will get me to the river. And there is usually interesting stuff growing along rivers. A densely inhabited residential part of town. They already get a following of little children, but only the smallest one is brave. Hi! Only the smallest one is brave enough to come out on the open road. The other ones are still looking for cover. Yeah, that's quite normal in the remote Kalimantan areas. However, when you get to the really remote areas, they will not even dare to follow on the street. Yes, saya bule. Orang apa? Orang Bali. Tu orang Bali. Oh, baguslah. Dari mana bule? Dari Jerman bule. Dari Jerman. Hi, apa kabar? Somebody here doesn't seem to like bananas too much. Breadfruit tree, however, no breadfruits. I wonder if the breadfruit is seasonal. I mean, it was introduced to the Caribbean to feed African slaves. They have to feed people all the time. Like, relying for their sustenance on a seasonal fruit doesn't seem so clever, but yet I don't see fruits on that one. Here again, the wild beetle pepper, a very important herb, and a brownish reddish cocoa variety. They even seem to harvest them. They put a lot next to this shed, but even though they harvest them, they don't seem to do much with them. Pisang kapok seems to be a very important staple here. Those angular bananas which used to make fried bananas, because everywhere along the river There are big groves of this specific one banana variety. Nice people, cute little neighborhood, but no seasonal fruits. Papaya is not seasonal, and neither is jackfruit. And I got a new following of little kids. Hi Karak, apa kabar? No mangoes on this tree. And also no sign that they have dropped recently. Walk a little bit more in this direction and then I'll go a little bit upriver to see some of the gold digging operations. Limbi, probably the most sour fruit in the world, but right now there are only sour flowers. Even the tiny terong pipit eggplant is not in season. It's flowering. Well, the first fruits are getting to the proper pea size, but yeah, even this thing is not ready yet. How seasonal are guavas? A lot of unripe ones, 2 almost ripe ones, a lot of teeny tiny ones. No idea about the seasonality of guavas in an equatorial climate. Nama buah ini buah pedara, ya?
Pedara.
Well, terima kasih, Bu. I don't know, this looks a little bit like Dabai or Borneo olive, but she says it's something different, buah pedara. Well, it has no fruits, but it would be interesting to visit this during the fruit season. If you know what those things are, big leaves with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it looks like 8 to 9 or 10 leaflets. Tell me what it is. Big orchards on the other side of the river. Not too many fruits. Well, the red river figs are ripe, but those are wild ones. See here, the fruits on this tree, they're a little bit small for my phone to focus on them. Here some food is being cooked the traditional way inside bamboo sections. They are put on top of a banana pseudostem to get the right amount of heat. Some leaves have been stuffed into them to close them as a lid. And then, I don't know what, it could be fish, it could be rice, it could be chicken. But whatever you cook inside the bamboo section is so much tastier than inside a boring metal pot. Look at this beautiful dragon fruit cactus growing all the way to the second floor. An unripe fruit over there, and still unripe but already quite big one down here. Some of the houses seem quite old, nice traditional architecture of different kinds. Everything is similar to Malaysia, but different. A disgusting beetle nut, one of the most noxious drugs of Southeast Asia. Unfortunately, not even Islam could stop this drug because it doesn't really make you drunk or gives you hallucinations. It just makes you wake up and gives you throat cancer too. A huge kedudong tree in the background. They normally never let them get so big. How come this one? This is well over 10 meters. There's somebody growing dragon beans. A longan tree. This is the Thai longan imported from the continent, not one of the native endemics. Here we have some tropical cherry imported from America. Lots of unripe fruits, however I guess the birds and the kids between them will get most of them before me. Slightly unusual melingio tree. Also it's a bit unusual for it to grow in the bright sun. But there are a lot of different species, so I guess I just haven't encountered this one so often yet. Here a second tree, taller and with much more yellow leaves. Yeah, usually I see those more or less in the shade and the leaves look different. Don't know if it's a different species or just looking different in the sun. Found a couple old friends from the green bus where I used to transport my durian. Huh? Bule tabok durian, yeah? Yeah. The bus hijau di Syrian. A small oil palm nursery, it seems. Somebody has a little business on the side. Google sees this little trail as a public road. Okay, let's see where the road will lead us. Here, a different type of water apple. With some striped fruits. Funny. An abandoned house surrounded by more or less abandoned gardens. Was it a residential house or something different? And why are so many people living in wooden huts around here when there is an abandoned house? Advancing through the floodplain vegetation. Oh, see here the kapok tree. In older times, around here they used to grow them a lot. They used to stuff their blankets and pillows and teddy bears with it, because the wool inside the fruits is actually hydrophobic. It repels water. However, nowadays, unfortunately, those natural fibers, I think there was either a small frog or a big grasshopper. Those natural fibers, unfortunately, are being replaced by, synthetic ones. More abandoned gardens. I guess maybe they come here from time to time to harvest the bananas. This is not much effort, but for a big reward. But everything else, well, in Kalimantan, people are very busy making money, growing cash crops or digging for gold or other valuable minerals, that in some areas, this was a lizard, and there could be, or there are snakes here in the high grass. Where did I end up here? Well, I know exactly where I did end up, but how did I end up here? Well, by always going into the... I thought there was a monkey, but there are actually people with a bamboo stick, I guess, harvesting bananas. Here you can see the size of the pisang kapok banana pseudostems. This is one of the biggest banana plants in cultivation. The fruits can be gigantic, but usually they are not. Even the gigantic ones are more thick than long. But look at those pseudostems here with some competition. The pseudostems are easily 6 meters tall. The leaves adding 2 more meters. So those ladies are actually collecting banana leaves and then binding them together with some plant material. They are harvesting nice young banana leaves. Then they are cutting the petura on both sides of the central rib, binding it together, and then later using it. It used to be the standard wrapping material instead of plastic when they didn't have plastic. Now they use it mostly to wrap foods, which taste much better when you cook them inside the banana leaf. Let's see how they harvest those. That's why they have the big stick for the fruit. They would totally cut the whole pseudostem, but for a leaf or two, of course, you don't destroy the whole plant. Then they, so nice, then they cut off half of the leaf and the other half. And this one here. Then they fold them together. So nice. And Then I wonder what they use to bind them together. Oh, look at my legs, they're covered with mosquitoes. I really wonder what plants they use to bind them together. Oh, those mosquitoes are eating me alive. Now for now they are just folding. Folding and folding, and the mosquitoes are... Oi, look at that, a whole swarm around my legs. They use a thin section of the central rib. Look at that, she just spliced that off the thick central rib of the banana leaf. That's so good. So you harvest the banana leaves and then you also harvest the material to bind them together. The only part I haven't witnessed yet is the harvest itself. A sickle on top of a big bamboo stick. Small sickle on top of a big bamboo stick. Seems that she doesn't like any of the banana leaves around here, but the ones in the back. And now she's cutting one. Just one per plant. So this was the harvesting of kapok banana leaves in Kalimantan. So you can see there are many other uses for a banana plant than simply eating the curved yellow fruits. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly fruit and mosquito-rich island of Kalimantan/Borneo. And don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Hi folks, this is all the fruit, and in this beautiful stand of giant pisang kapok bananas in Kalimantan, I'll show you how you can use bananas for other things than just for the yellow fruit. Here you can harvest big banana leaves. Completely devastated by the mosquitoes. I stayed with the ladies for a couple minutes filming without walking, and now my legs are burning. Of course, since I did not plan to go into the river, to go into the dense vegetation, I didn't. Oh, what is this? A nice little pump, an electric cable, and the pipe, and you already get running water inside your home, even if it's not connected to the city system. I don't see any dredges in the river. No more gold prospecting here. Just one fisherman up there. This stuff looks like some gold prospecting equipment. Well, you can call me whatever you want, but if you call me a gold digger, I'm not gonna be offended. I'm totally interested in this business. Why have I never worked a little bit? Oh yeah, that's totally... Hi boss! Hey boss? Boss. So this is a gold prospecting operation. A much thicker pipe for getting the water out of the river, and here I guess this is where the magic happens. However, I'm not sure if this one is really for gold, because here they are collecting sand and here they are collecting gravel. So I guess since those rivers have a lot of gold, I'm sure that some gold prospecting is being done here, but I don't even know if this is the main thing they are getting here. Hi boss, apa kabar? I think the sand for the construction is actually their main goal. But on the other hand, it looks too complicated to be just for sand. And also they wouldn't They wouldn't do this with such a thin pipe and everything. So I'm sure that there is also some gold dust involved. A lot of buildings which look one story from the road have huge supports in the back. Those here in the back are maybe 2 stories high. But I've seen buildings in one place of Sabah, a really high bridge over a big river. Everything was like 1 story on the bridge, but in the back everything went 6-7 stories down to the water level. Coincidentally, this is a fruit shop. Hi, boss! And here, of course, the main cash crop of the island, the oil palm. The oil palm is the most efficient way to produce oil. And I don't know how it's here, but Malaysia already imports a lot of the other foodstuffs, even most of their rice, because oil palm production is so efficient here in the equatorial tropics that you can even afford to import your main foodstuff, the white rice. I forgot the name of this thing. Was it the purging nut or something? It's a medicine, but it's also quite toxic, and I think it makes you go to the toilet.